Good afternoon. We are at the Blessington property. We're going to be completing a repairability test. It'll be on the front slope, which is southwest. We have this damaged shingle. We'll do the repairability test on, see how it affects all of those surrounding shingles. I have all of those surrounding shingles boxed out, which I'll give you an overview of before we get started, showing you the current condition. All of these shingles can potentially be damaged during the repairability test. So we'll take another look once we're all complete and see those results. For my tools, I'll be using a flat bar, putty knife, hammer, and roof snake. And then we have this 45-degree tool we'll use to give us a visual for what 45 degrees looks like. We'll slide it underneath the damaged shingle, and I'll give you some views of that. And then throughout the repairability test, any of those shingles we do have to lift. We'll do our best to keep them under 45 degrees. All right, we're going to get started. We'll start by unsealing all of those shingles that we need to. We'll use the putty knife to unseal the top shingle. Then we'll use the flat bar to unseal the rest of those. See if there's any differences with those tools. And then we'll start removing those nails. We have some matting there that was torn when we were getting the nail out. I'll show you that real quick. You can see a piece of matting that tore off when we were removing that nail. That was right there. So we have some damages just from removing those nails. We've got all those nails out, so we'll go ahead and simulate an actual repair. To do that, we'll slide the damaged shingle out, we'll slide it back in, doing everything you would for an actual repair. So that should give us the most accurate results in determining whether or not this roof is repairable. Get that shingle all lined back up. We'll start getting some nails in there now, and we'll be using the roof snake for that. we're all complete with that repairability test. Give you another overview of all of those surrounding shingles. Take a closer look at those tabs right above that damaged shingle. I'll clear off some of this chalk just so we can see any damages a little better. But we can see stress fractures that occurred to all of those tabs above. You can see where the matting on the shingle is broken. Those stress fractures will be damaging the integrity of those shingles. We can feel where they're much weaker in those areas with the stress fractures. It's going to not allow those shingles to do what they're designed to do as best as they should. Those stress fractures will be affecting the shingle's water shedding capabilities, as the matting is the main component for that. So with that matting being broken in those areas, those shingles, the water shedding capabilities of those shingles will be worsened. You can see quite a bit of granule loss in those areas around the stress fractures as well. Real bad there, but quite a bit of granule loss everywhere. And the purpose of those granules is to protect that matting from weathering. So when we do have significant granule loss in those areas with the stress fractures, that's going to allow the already broken matting to just deteriorate rapidly. So we got stress fractures to all of those surrounding shingles. One's above that damaged shingle. We'll take a look underneath, see if we're seeing any mat transfer that occurred. You can see a little bit of mat transfer there. You can see where those pieces of matting were torn off the bottom of that tab. You can see where that's leaving exposed fiberglass showing through there. All of those pieces of mat there, you can see all of the exposed fiberglass on the bottom of that tab due to that. So that mat transfer will also be damaging the integrity of those shingles. As you can see, pieces of the matting that were torn off the bottom, making those shingles weaker. And that mat transfer is also going to make it more difficult for those shingles to reseal properly once repairs have been made. As we can see, those the pieces of matting are stuck to that tar line now. You can see mat transfer along both of these rows. And when that mat transfer occurs is when we're unsealing all of those shingles, and we use the putty knife to unseal the top row and the flat bar to unseal this lower row. So either tool that is used, looks like it's going to be impossible to get around that mat transfer. As we can see, pretty significant mat transfer along both those rows. So with all of those damages, the stress fractures, along with the mat transfer, I do not believe repairs are feasible to this roof, as those damages are going to be concerned for potential water intrusion we have 3 additionally damaged shingles at least. We've got shingle 5, 6, and 8. All of those have stress fractures and mat transfer along those. And we can see the wind damage is very widespread along this roof. Got missing tabs, wind crease shingles all over this front slope as well. So if repairs were completed, then we can see all of the resulting damages that are going to occur during those repairs. All of those wind damaged shingles being repaired are going to have at least 3 additionally damaged shingles. And this insured will have potential leak hazards all over their roof where all of those repairs are going to be completed. I do not believe that would be indemnification, leaving the insured with more damaged shingles than they previously had. And then just want to give you a side view of some of these tabs with stress fractures. See in those tabs where there's a sharp bend where those stress fractures are. You can see a pretty big difference in the condition of those tabs with the stress fractures compared to the shingles up above here. You can see those are all still, well, that one's not sealed down, but these are. We can see these are, we did not have to manipulate these shingles at all to complete the repairability test. I'll just give you a side-by-side comparison. Of the damaged shingles, we can see those ones with stress fractures on them compared to these ones up here that were unaffected, do not have damages on those. Just give you a side-by-side comparison of those real quick. But other than that, I do not believe the roof is repairable, and I'll go ahead and chalk up all of those damages and get some better pictures of those. Thank you for your time.